and welcome back to another episode of the Look It Up podcast. I'm Chell Omer, and this is my papa, Tony Gudo. Now, papa, got a big thing.
Where can they find us?
Oh, you can find us also on YouTube under the Look It Up podcast and Facebook under Tony Gudo. So, today we're going to get straight to the point.
Straight to the point. What happened to LSU? They played a good first half.
After a great first half,
the wheels came off.
LSU loses to Texas A&M in Death Valley, 49-25.
And the
Papa,
next day, what happened?
What happened the very next day? Head coach Brian Kelly is informed that he will be let go from the team.
Yeah, I understand him and AD had a long conversation. They argued a little bit. I think they were trying to make some changes on the offensive and defensive coaches, probably the offensive coaches especially. And I understand he did not like it, and he didn't want to do whatever Scott was talking about, Scott Alexander. So ended up letting him go. But I guess it was already put together to begin with because the donors had already don't. I understand it was one guy that paid the whole deal. What I heard today, but I'm not sure if that's it. That's what I heard. But I heard they hadn't settled it. Yeah, that last thing I heard was that they were settling around $27 million instead of $50 million. So I'm not sure. Nothing came out for sure on that. It eventually will come out.
His buyout is crazy. Almost $54 million.
But I think they're coming down on that.
They might be coming down, but still, that was his
quite a bit of money
contract.
I wouldn't have a problem with taking off and go sit on the beach with my $50 million and maybe coach another time, whatever you feel like.
Coach O has only played 17.
But remember, the pressure at LSU is you have to win.
Win.
Right now, they say it's the best job in the country. There's 12 jobs, but they say LSU is the best job in the country.
Yeah, so you want to go over...
Why would you think that?
Because
why?
It's the ACC.
Because the last three coaches have all won national championship.
So, look, all three of our past coaches in the 21st century, Nick Saban, Les Miles, and Coach O, have all won national championships at LSU.
So the expectation was...
It's high.
Kelly to do it. Kelly didn't get it done, and he's losing against, top-notch teams. He's lost against ranked teams. So it's time to make a move. I was a little surprised. I thought they'd wait till the end of the year. But I guess with the arguments and everything, they decided to go ahead and make a move. And I like the way they did it because the coach, the interim coach, is a great guy.
Yeah, Frank Wilson.
Been around forever.
He's been around since he was around at the Les Miles era.
Yeah.
He's
a top-notch recruiter, and I think he'll circle the wagons. And I think the boys will play good football between now and the end of the year. I don't know if they can handle Bama in a couple of weeks, but they can play pretty good with the rest of the teams, I think, on the schedule. So anyway, what do you think is going to happen? There's a lot of coaches. They're talking about a lot of different people. Yeah, you want to go over that?
Let's go over
that. We can talk a little bit about the coaches. I mean, the top name right now is Kiffin. And his name is coming up with LSU and Florida. I'm not sure if Kiffin's ready to leave Ole Miss yet. He's going to be in the playoffs this year unless the wheels come off in the next few weeks. He's going to be in the college football playoffs. So I don't know if he's ready to leave.
Yeah, number one on the top of LSU's list is Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Well, I'll say number one is probably Nick Saban.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
I'm pretty sure they already called him.
Well, I don't think Nick Saban
I don't think he's
going to come out of retirement. No. But if he does, I think he'll come here. Other candidates, I like Henning from down up in Oregon.
Lanning.
Dan Lanning has done a great job at Oregon. Made the playoff last year. Got a good chance of making the playoffs again this year. And somebody said he's not from down here. Well, he coached at Alabama for a while, so he has coached down in the SEC.
Also,
and I think he'd be a good coach. He's only 39 years old too. That makes a big difference.
So big names. Also, a young coach, Joe Brady, Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. Lincoln Riley, USC.
I don't want Lincoln.
I don't like him either, but
stay where you're at, Lincoln.
He's Eli Drinkwitz from Mizzou.
He hasn't done enough.
I don't think he's done enough.
To take LSU.
You think that, but I think he'll be a good coach.
And the guy from Vandy, but he's at the school that he went to school, so I don't know if he's willing to leave.
Who?
The Vandy guy.
Oh, Clark Lee, yeah.
I don't think he's ready to lead.
not.
I think he's staying where he's at.
And then also James Franklin, but I don't think James Franklin's coming to LSU.
No, I heard today that if Florida State makes a change, and if I was Florida State, I'd wait. I'd wait and use that buyout money rather than pay $40 million to what's his name, the coach Norvell. Instead of paying that to Norvell, what they ought to do is use that money to go and get some players, and then let him try to coach and win the next few years. And if that don't happen, then you can replace him then. It don't pay to get on the coaches carousel right now.
Yeah.
Now, if that were to happen, I think James Franklin may be a place to go for Florida State.
Yeah.
You know?
So who do you think should be the LSU coach, and who do you think they will hire?
I would like the guy from Oregon, Dan Lanning.
Okay. And who do you think they will?
I don't know. I mean, the last few times they made hires, I was wrong. Every time I thought they were going to hire somebody else, they picked somebody else. So I'm not sure. I don't know what they're going to do. It's up in the air, and they probably can't do anything until the first of the year because people are in playoffs, right? Kind of working to get to the playoffs. Now, you don't know. Behind the scenes, they may already have someone lined up before none of us know it. I mean, Kiffin may have already agreed to come here. Lanning may have already agreed. We don't know that. At the time, we'll tell in the next few months. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Anyway, some of the other games that happened this coming week that were pretty good and interesting. When the top, let's talk about the top games like Virginia. Virginia barely survived. They're number 15, but they're in the ACC and doing a good job this year. They barely beat North Carolina 17-16. Memphis beat South Florida 34-31. Some people say that was an upset, but Memphis has got a pretty good football team. Ole Miss took care of Oklahoma. I watched that game. Ole Miss looked real good, especially on defense. They played a lot better defense than what they usually do.
Yeah.
Indiana, same Indiana. They showed why they're number 2 in the country. 56-6, they beat UCLA. 56-6.
Texas Tech beat Oklahoma State 42-0.
Yeah, that was Oklahoma State. They're waiting on the coach. No telling what's going to happen in that area.
And a good game.
Alabama survived.
Yeah, that was a great game.
South Carolina had them on the ropes.
Yeah, South Carolina, I believe we're going to drive down the field and score another touchdown if Lenore Sellers doesn't fumble the football.
Probably so, but I mean, Lenore has not been the guy he was a year ago. And South Carolina hadn't been the team they were a year ago. They play Ole Miss this week. I don't see South Carolina making it through that game. Another big game, we talked about BYU during the first part of the season. BYU has really played good football. And this week they beat Iowa State. A lot of people thought Iowa State would win, but I didn't think so because I think it was one of my picks for BYU last week because Iowa State had lost 2 in a row, and they lost another one again last week. They lost 3 in a row. His name has come up a few times with LSU several years back and now. But I mean, Mike Campbell, he is not winning at Iowa State, so you don't want to bring him here. But BYU is number 10. They were number 10. I have to look at the rankings in a minute to see where they're at. Another team that's surprising people is who? Cincinnati.
Cincinnati's been clawing through the rankings.
They're coming up. They're number 17 in the rankings. Texas
barely scoots by
Mississippi
State. Mississippi State were dominating that game.
They were big. They were a big lead. They had a big lead.
31-14 at one point.
It was bad, and Texas survived, came back. Manning had a hell of a last quarter. He had like 3 touchdowns in the last part of the game. But he did get injured. I understand he's in concussion protocol right now, but he probably played this week, but it's hard to tell when they're in concussion protocol.
Oregon only beat Wisconsin 21-7.
Mm-hmm. Wisconsin hung in there. I guess that's Oregon's sleeper game. But that's probably good. If they got that out of the way, so they don't have to worry about it. Anybody else? Miami survived big, 42-7 over Stanford. Michigan beat Michigan State. Michigan's in the top 25 right now.
Yeah, Tennessee.
Louisville's still playing good ball. Yeah. 38-24 over Boston College. Another good team people have forgot about is Houston. Houston has done a good job ever since the coach moved from Tulane down there. That's another name that come up is Sumrall from Tulane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
for the LSU job. So, he's done a good job. I like his fire. He's got a lot of fire. He's always screaming and hollering on the sideline. I like that kind of stuff. And Utah laid it on Colorado pretty bad. Colorado 53-7
Yeah.
Utah beat them, so that was pretty bad. Let's look at the top 25. I got them ranked here somewhere. Ohio State still number 1. They're still winning, so of course they're going to be number 1. Indiana still number 2, still winning big. A&M beat LSU. They hanging in there at number 3.
Still 3.
Alabama
Stays at 4. Georgia stays at 5. Oregon 6.
Oregon dropped a little, I guess because of that close win.
Yeah.
Ole Miss number 7.
Yep. Georgia Tech 8.
Georgia Tech still winning.
Vanderbilt only moved up once. They went from 10 to 9.
Miami back in the top 10.
Yeah.
BYU number 10 tied. Oh, him and Miami tied for 10.
Oh, they tied for 10?
Yeah. Notre Dame 12. I don't know why Notre Dame's still hanging in there, but somebody's gonna knock them off. Virginia 15, Tennessee 14, Cincinnati 17. We mentioned them earlier. Oklahoma, even with that loss, is still in top 25 at 18. Houston, I mentioned them a few minutes ago, 22. And Memphis number 25.
Still hanging in there.
So they still hanging in there too. Let's see, in the SEC, we got how many teams? 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 teams from the SEC still in the top 25. Everybody from last week except LSU. LSU dropped out. All the rest are still here from last year. Coming up this week, here's some of the games they have. Penn State, Ohio State. Well, you would think Ohio State would handle that game pretty good since Penn State let their head coach go.
Yep.
But who else?
Miami and
Who else playing?
SMU. Georgia, Florida, that's a rivalry game. That should be a good game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Georgia Tech and NC State. And
Georgia Tech probably was still winning.
Utah and Cincinnati is probably the best game.
I don't know. SMU could give Miami problems. They're playing in Texas.
Oh, they're playing in SMU?
Yeah, so that could be
Okay.
They could give Miami some problems. For what I see Miami against Louisville, if they play like Louisville did, they could handle them.
Yeah.
Texas playing Vandy. Texas Tech, I like Texas Tech against K-State. I think they handle them. Cincinnati playing, who's that? Utah and Cincinnati. That is going to be a good game right there. Nebraska and USC. That's just some of the games that are coming up this week.
And Oklahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah, Oklahoma, Tennessee. That's going to be another good game, I think, next week. I went 4-2 last week on my picks. Remember, if you bet, do what? Only bet what you can afford to lose. But anyway, made some money last week for everybody. This week, my picks in college, I like Tulane. Tulane minus 3.5 on Thursday night against University of Texas San Antonio, UTSA. Saturday, I like Texas Tech. I mentioned that earlier. Minus 7.5 at K-State. I like that. I like Texas Tech in that game. And I like Mississippi State plus 4.5. They playing good ball at Arkansas. I think they can stay with Arkansas and win that game. Okay, anything else in college we need to talk about?
Nope. That's all. Nope. We did a lot. That's pretty. All right, moving on to the NFL.
Moving on. Let's look at the scores from
last week. We had some
week.
good games last week. We had Chargers and the Vikings. That was a blowout. 37-10. Chargers sweep the floor with the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings are still in trouble right now.
Dolphins beat the heck out of the Falcons 34-10.
And that was a surprise game. I mean, Dolphins hadn't done nothing all year long. I think that's their first or second win.
Yep. And then the 1-6 Ravens go and beat the Bears.
Yeah, the Ravens, but the Ravens defense is starting to get some people back.
Oh, that's why.
And if I understand this coming week, Lamar's supposed to be coming back.
Okay.
So if Lamar comes back and the receivers are back, he should do all right.
The winless Jets get their first win against the Cincinnati Bengals, 39-38.
Yeah, what is it?
Breece Hall.
Breece Hall had a hell of a game. And that's probably why they won, because the Jets were lucky to win that game anyway. I watched a lot of that game, and they were lucky to win that game.
Patriots beat the Browns, but the Browns, Myles Garrett had 5 sacks.
5 sacks. But like he said, I'd give that away for a win. He said, I'll give that away for a win. I've seen that on TV today. So, he just wants to win. Yeah. They may have had to trading him. And I think eventually he's going to go somewhere else. Remember last Thursday, the Chargers beat the Vikings real bad. 37-10.
That's what I said.
Oh, you mentioned that earlier?
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry, I missed it.
The Eagles squeaked by the Giants. Cam Scatterboo dislocated his ankle in the in the
He's
game
probably out for most of the year.
most of
Not
the
sure.
year.
I don't think he's on IR, but he's
Yeah.
going to be out for a
And
while.
then our Saints lost 23-3.
That was my pick last week. What I said, I made a lot of coins on that game. I made a lot of coins. Took
Yep.
Tampa minus 3.5, minus 4. Easy win. I knew it.
Yep.
They changed quarterbacks, and what I understand this week, Tyler Shuck is going to be starting for the Saints this week in Los Angeles against the Rams. I don't think they have much of a chance against the Rams.
The Colts.
Rams are coming off a bye, and they are a good football team.
Colts beat the heck out of the Titans, like by a lot.
Titans
38-14.
Titans are not a good football team right now.
Nope.
They're a long way from being a good football team.
Broncos beat the Cowboys
They
44-24.
dominated the Cowboys. They dominated.
Yeah.
The Cowboys defense, they just can't stop anybody. They can score, but they can't stop anybody. And of course, Broncos defense, I think, is number
Yeah.
one in the league.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, that's another team to watch. They are hot and they are winning all the games. I
Yeah.
think they only lost one game. They're the best team
Yeah,
in
I
the
think they're
NFC.
7-1.
7-1. You know, I noticed the owner died and left his team to his 3 daughters, and
Who?
one of them,
The Packers. I mean,
the coach,
the Colts.
Jim Irsay, died.
Oh yeah.
And
I
he
saw
left
that.
it to the 3 daughters. And one of the daughters is on the sideline now. She's got papers, she's got things, and she's taking notes throughout the whole game. And chatting with players and doing, but I mean, she's actually charting the games. So I guess she's trying to learn the game of football and try to get her input in on the coaches. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't see too many owners doing that on the sideline.
Packers beat the Steelers by 10.
Yeah, the
35-25.
Steelers defense has got some. That's usually their bread and butter, but their defense is not playing that good.
Yeah.
They're having a hard time. Of course, the Packers could be the best team in the NFC right now. Packers and the Eagles, I think, are the 2 top teams right now.
Yeah.
And like we said earlier, the Indianapolis Colts probably the best team in the
And
other
then
side.
last night the Chiefs beat the Commanders pretty bad.
Yeah, Kelsey had a big night.
Yeah, he had a big
I
night.
think he had 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I think it was his 83rd touchdown of his career.
Yeah, he's ranked way up there.
He
He's
made,
a definitely Hall of Famer. He'll make the Hall of Fame.
yeah. Then this week we got for the NFL we got Ravens Dolphins. That I don't know with that.
I don't know what's going to happen there because the Ravens looked better last week, but the Dolphins also looked good. So I don't understand what's going to happen in that game.
49ers Giants. Both teams are dealing with injuries.
Vikings Lions. That's going to be a pretty good game.
That should be
But
a good
the problem
game.
is the Vikings don't really have a quarterback. The quarterback just went on IR. He got hurt.
Who? Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
So they're
I don't
gonna
know-
start the third string.
So I don't know if JJ's back.
Oh, they're gonna put JJ back
Maybe
in.
JJ's back. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah,
But,
that could be true.
that's going to be. I thought Detroit would probably win that game, especially
Yeah.
at home.
And then the
Patriots.
Colts. Oh yeah,
and
Patriots
Falcons.
and Falcons. And then Colts and Steelers. That could be a good game.
Broncos and Texans. That's going to be a good defensive
That's
game.
depending on how CJ Stroud plays. If that's
Well,
a
they're
good
playing
game or
at
not.
home, and their defense is lights out. Their defense is better, probably better than they were last year.
Yeah.
The offense has been a little shaky, but they've had a lot of people hurt. Nico Collins been hurt. 2 or 3 of their players have been hurt.
Yep. Bears visit the Bengals.
Yeah. Packers have the Panthers. They should handle Panthers, I would think.
The Saints go to LA to face the Rams.
Yeah, late game, 3:00 game next week. The Rams are favored by almost 2 touchdowns, 13.5 points.
Jaguars go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, 2 teams that are kind of, I don't know, hanging in there, I guess. But Jaguars were expected to be a lot better than they were. But they're coming off a bye, I think. Yeah, I think they've
They've
been
been playing a lot better. They've been
been
playing
playing
good, but they lost. That loss to the Rams really hurt them.
The Seahawks and Commanders, that ought to be a decent game, especially if Jaden Daniels comes back. They
Yeah.
hope he comes back because you could see the game last night. They were not into it. They needed a quarterback.
Yeah.
They needed a quarterback. The
And
good
then-
thing, the receivers are back. Terry McLaurin had a hell of a game last night.
Yeah.
And Debo, he didn't do that much, but Debo was there. So, get them 2 back, and if Jaden Daniels comes back next
And
week,
then
they got a good, that's
Pretty
gonna be a
much
good game.
a rivalry going in the playoffs the last few years. Chiefs play the Bills
Chiefs and Buffalo.
at 3:00.
I like the Buffalo Bills in that game. I think Buffalo at home.
Yeah.
I still say Buffalo's going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Buffalo's going to make it to the Super Bowl. I've been looking to buy a Buffalo Bills cap, because that's my favorite team really in the AFC. And I think they're going to go all the way. But the caps are like $40. I don't want to pay $40 for a cap. I'll find a deal somewhere. But anyway, Other than the Saints, I want to support them because I think they're going to do good. My NFL picks this week, I like Indianapolis -3.5 against
Sorry.
Pittsburgh. I like Buffalo +1.5 against Kansas City. And I like Seattle -2.5 against Washington. And that's if Daniels don't play. If Daniels play, I might change that pick the other way around. So we'll see what happens on there. What else we need to talk about? Let's see. Rankings, photos. Let me look at my stuff here. Dan Lanning, I talked about him already. Talked about the SEC, top 10. What else is going on? Back to LSU search. I mean, how about other coaches? What do we think is going to happen in some of the other areas?
Yeah.
I still think Florida State would be smart to hold on to their coach for another year or two.
I don't know. Like, it could go either way for this job, because there's so many openings and then there's so many coaches that need jobs.
Yeah, well, what's going to happen too, the secondary level, because when you have coaches like Dan Lanning and Kiffin and all these different coaches that if they decide to leave and go get another job, guess what? They got openings again. Somebody got to take the Ole Miss job. Somebody got to take the Oregon job. So there's going to be a lot of coaches going on, a lot of changes this year. Probably won't happen till January or so, after the playoffs are pretty much over. Well, the playoffs will be starting around the 1st of January. But by that time, it'll be whittled down to 8 to 12 teams. So you'll know pretty much what coaches can do. But like I said, a lot of things are happening behind the scenes with coaches and agents and teams. So you never know what's happening. A lot of times it's already done and we don't even know about it. I mean, I remember back when Saban got hired, the word on the street, everybody was saying we're going to hire a Tulane coach, which is the guy that's at West Virginia now. His name will come to me in a minute, but he was at West Virginia. He was at Tulane before that and did real well at Tulane. Then he went to Notre Dame. Now he's back at West Virginia. His name, I thought he was going to be hired. Next thing you know, they hired Saban out of nowhere.
Yeah.
From where? From up in Michigan State. Michigan State. Now, he's originally from West Virginia. Then what happened? When we hired Les Miles, everybody thought we were going to hire 2 or 3 different coaches. All of a sudden, Les Miles comes out of Oklahoma State. We bring him in. And he wins a championship. And then what? After he goes, who we hire? Coach O. But there was a lot of other people they were talking to. They decided to go with Coach O. What did he do? He won a championship. That's why I think the LSU job is the best job.
That's why people are like, why is Brian Kelly losing his job just for a 3-loss season? It's like, I feel like that loss, like, it just, like, showed that you are not the top of our expectation for LSU football.
Yeah, and there's a lot of rumblings too about, they say some of the players weren't happy with some of the things he's going. Some of his assistant coaches were not happy. And you don't hear all that stuff during the season. They keep it quiet. Yeah. But until something happens like this, and then the stuff starts coming out. So I don't know. I never thought it was a great hire from the beginning. I always thought he would win a championship because of LSU, not because of him. I thought he'd come in here, recruit good, bring in the right coaches, and then win a championship. And they should have. He had the talent. They've been having the talent ever since he's been here. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens on that. Something to look forward to. I'm excited about it. I was listening to a few guys on the radio this week, and Randall L. from played at Florida State, and Hester played at LSU, and they got the show on college football radio. And they were talking about the thing about LSU. A lot of the players were saying, Randall L. was saying, a lot of the extra players that play at LSU, they're like, look, you may not win, and you may lose when you play LSU. But when you play LSU, the next day you played LSU, because they will beat you up whether you win or you lose. So that's why it's so competitive, and that's why people don't like coming to play LSU in Baton Rouge, because it's a tough thing. And that's why it's the #1 job in the country. Who's going to take it? It's up for grabs. We'll find out who LSU decides. And who's making the decision. We don't have a president right now. Sounds like Governor Landry's involved. Of course, in Louisiana, the politics, the governor has always been involved over the years. Edwards was involved. Back Huey Long years ago was involved. He's the one who built the stadium. He started the stadium. What he did.
Yeah, he's the one
he
that
used
put the
public
dorms.
funds.
He's the one that put the dorms in the
built,
stadium.
He used the public funds to build a dorm and put a football stadium in it.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. And of course, it's grown since then. Still have the dorms are still there, but they use it for different things now. So, the governor's always been involved. So I think Landry will be involved some, but probably going to be the board members and the people with the money. People with the money. People call it the LSU Mafia. Well, those people will make the decision probably on who the next coach is for LSU. Anything on UFC you want to discuss at all?
No. I mean, yeah, we had a pretty bad showing, in my opinion, last weekend. Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. The fight was deemed a no contest in the first round due to an eye poke.
Due to an eye poke.
Yeah, Tom Aspinall was poked in the eye, and due to not being able to see, they called the fight off and called it a no contest so he could keep his title.
Yeah, let's go to the NBA briefly.
Yeah,
the Pelicans have started their season last week, and I don't think they've won, but maybe one game. Have they won at all?
No, look, it says it right there.
Yeah, they're 0-3. Yeah, 0-3. So they haven't won any games yet. They got beat by Boston, 122-90.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday, and tomorrow they play the Nuggets in Denver, and then they play the Clippers in Los Angeles. That's just the start of the season, so not a whole lot to on them at this point, unless you have comments to make on it. I don't know much about the NBA.
Today
haven't really been keeping up with the NBA yet. It just started. So.
There's only 5 games today. We got Sixers, Wizards, Hornets, Heat, Knicks, Bucks. That might be the only good game. Kings, Thunder, and the Clippers, Warriors. That should be a good game as well.
Yeah, they said what's his name?
Yeah.
Cooper Flag's doing good. But his debut. And I thought he played a couple of games already. I think. So he played pretty
Mavericks.
Good. Yeah. On my picks again, I'm giving to you back. Tulane -3.5 against UTSA. Texas Tech -7.5 against K-State. Mississippi State +4.5 against Arkansas. I don't think I ever took Mississippi State before. Anyway, Indy -3.5 against Pittsburgh. The Buffalo +1.5 against Kansas City. Seattle -2.5 if James Daniels doesn't play. If James Daniels play, I take Washington plus the points if they're still getting them. But if he plays, they'll probably be favored because the game is in Washington. So, anyway, we want to thank you for watching. Where they will find us?
On YouTube under the Look It Up Podcast and Facebook under his name, Tony Gudo. Thanks for another episode. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Like us, share, let people know we're here.
Yeah, listen.
What happens?
When you don't understand something,
can't find anything, what do?
You look it up.
Now, go Saints.
Go Tigers. Thanks for watching another episode of the Look It Up Podcast. Bye-bye.
Take care.